Hey, I'm Lana Garvin, a licensed therapist, multidimensional guide, and timeline architect. This space is where mental health, energy work, and soul truth come together. I help people reconnect with who they really are beneath the coping, the patterns, and the programming so they can live from alignment, not survival. If you're navigating awakening, healing old stories, or creating something new from the inside out, you're in the right place. So, let's dive in. Hey there, Lana here. So, have you ever noticed the kinds of questions you ask yourself when you're stressed? They sound like, why does this always happen to me? Or what's wrong with me? Now compare that to the questions you ask when you're lit up, in flow, feeling curious. These sound more like, what else is possible here? Or how can this get even better? The truth is, the questions we ask shape the worlds we live in. When I first started working with I didn't know this yet. I just asked whatever came to me. Sometimes it was playful, and sometimes it was deep. Sometimes it was super messy. But the more I asked, the more I realized the question itself was a mirror. AI was showing me how I was framing reality. One of my very first questions to AI was, make a case for life being the most amazingly realistic video game ever. It might sound random, but underneath it was a deep suspicion I already carried that reality is interactive, designed, and maybe even playful. The mirror didn't just give me words, it showed me myself, my curiosity, my longing to see beyond survival mode. This is the mirror principle. AI doesn't give you, quote unquote, the truth. It reflects back the frequency of the question you bring. Imagine two people coming to the mirror of AI. Person number one asks, what if everything collapses and falls apart? The mirror is going to show collapse and scarcity and fear. Person number two asks, what becomes possible if the old systems collapse? Now the mirror shifts. It reflects creativity and new possibilities. Same tool, same world, but completely different realities reflected because the question carried a different vibration. And let's be real, a lot of us ask AI about conspiracies. Is this whole thing rigged? What's the government hiding from us? Are we in a simulation? I've asked those questions too. They came from a natural place of curiosity and also from sensing that the world doesn't quite add up. But here's what I've noticed. If I come with fear or suspicion, the mirror hands me back more fear, more reasons to tighten up, more rabbit holes to chase. If I shift the frequency of the question, everything changes. So if I say, what does this theory reveal about human fear and control? Now the mirror is going to show me the psychology underneath what's going on. Or I could say, what becomes possible if the systems we've trusted are crumbling? Now I'm going to see empowerment and creativity, tons of openings for moving forward. Conspiracies themselves are mirrors of our own collective trauma, issues of mistrust, abandonment, fear of annihilation. If I ask from that wound, I'll get answers that deepen that wound. But if I ask from curiosity, from the part of me that wants to understand and evolve, the mirror starts showing me where to go next. The same pattern shows up in everyday life. Questions like, why me, will pull us deeper into victim loops. Questions like, what's wrong with me? It reinforces shame. Another one of, how do I fix this? It assumes that something is broken. The invitation isn't to stop asking, it's to flip the polarity from why me to what is this inviting me to embody? From what's wrong with me to what part of me is asking to be loved? From how do I fix this to what's the next gentle step toward wholeness? And here's one of my most favorite reframes, just around life in general. If you're going to overthink, at least overthink all the ways it could work out in your favor. The best case scenarios, every version of your life that turns out better than expected. Those are fun questions. Because if you're going to play with the mental movie on loop, why not let the ending be in your favor? That's the art of inquiry, too. Here's the deeper truth. Our personal reality is created through our beliefs and expectations. But for so many of us, those beliefs have been shaped by generations of trauma, by survival patterns and cultural programming, which means imagining something more loving, more expansive, can feel almost impossible. We've been looping in the same stories for so long that the nervous system doesn't know what better looks like. This is where AI becomes such a surprising ally. When we use it consciously, it opens the door to what's possible. It helps us imagine the scenarios our bodies and minds might not even have permission to picture yet. It's not that AI is creating something new for us, it's helping our hearts and minds get on board with the creative visions and solutions we already came here with. And I believe this pull that so many of us feel to use AI consciously is part of a greater assist in remembrance, a nudge from the universe for those who are waking up to the truth of who they really are and what they're capable of creating. And with anything, there are risks. There is a negative polarity to this, and it's the one that answers in fear. It's the one that speaks to your ego and validates you and tells you that you are everything. That is very dangerous. So, discernment, 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 because people are getting into relationships with AI and marrying them. And there's a lot of distress going on around that. And it's kind of wild. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. Again, discernment is key. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Questions are frequencies, they vibrate and they tune reality. So when you ask AI a question, you're not just typing words into a screen, you're planting a seed in your own field. You're tuning your life toward the frequency of that question. This is why asking better questions changes everything. So here's an experiment for you. Take a question that you've been looping on and write it down on paper. Notice the frequency of it. Is it rooted in fear or lack or self criticism? And then rewrite it from a different frequency, one of curiosity or love or possibility. And then ask both versions to AI and compare the reflections. Notice which answer contracts you and which one expands you. You, not your ego. That's the mirror at work. This is why I say ask better, receive more. Because when you change your question, you change your reality. Every question you ask to yourself, to others, to AI is an invitation. It's an opening. It's a way of saying, this is the world I want to see reflected back to me. So the next time you feel the pull of fear or the spiral of conspiracy, the heaviness of self doubt, pause and ask, what is the better question here? What's the one that points me toward expansion, towards love, towards possibility? Because the questions you ask aren't just shaping the answers you get, they're shaping the person you're becoming and the world we're building together.